According to a survey by neonatal charity Bliss and Pampers, 2/3 of parents whose babies were born prematurely say they struggled to bond with their newborn baby.
Yes, and premature babies often need immediate medical attention, which means that parents can't hold their child straight after birth. Parents are often nervous about picking them up, miss them out on cuddles, you know, that skin-to-skin contact, very wary about that, and not being able to bond in those early days. Well, it's World Prematurity Day, and we're joined by Olympian Chris Hoy and his wife, Sarah. Their son, Callum, was born 11 weeks early, weighing just 2 pounds, 2 ounces. And, of course, we have experience of this in the studio as well, because our very own Laura Tobin had that experience, a similar experience, was helped out by Dr. Hillary. And, Dr. Hillary, you have family history of this as well. Let's talk first to Sir Chris and Sarah Hoy. Very good morning to you. Just tell us what happened.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Very good morning. Tell us what happened with your baby.
Well, 7 years ago, it feels like yesterday, after a brief period of ill health for me, we were told that he had to be delivered as an emergency C-section. So suddenly we were thrust into this world of neonatology that we knew nothing about previously. And you're absolutely right, he was whisked away straight away. I saw a tiny flash of red as he was taken away, and I first saw him 24 hours later. And it probably started the most terrifying experience of our lives so far.
Yeah, he was 2 pounds 2 when he was born.
Yep.
Tiny little thing, and yeah, you're thrust into this world that you knew nothing about, and yet actually it's a very common thing. 1 in 13 babies are born prematurely. So yeah, today is World Prematurity Day, and we're here to try and raise awareness for that.
Just looking at those pictures, Sarah, you described Callum as looking like a tiny bird who's fallen out of his nest. I mean, you must be so... Well, firstly, you're there, you've had a C-section, you need to recover, and you... At what point were you able even to touch your baby?
I think 24 hours after, when I was finally well enough to go and see him and he'd been stabilised, Chris took me up. So Chris was with him first and was trying to send me pictures while I was in a critical care ward. So, yeah, 24 hours later, you're kind of guided by the staff to put your hands into the incubator and touch your baby. And they look so fragile. The skin is almost translucent. Premature baby skin is up to 2 times thinner than a newborn, a full-term baby. So the idea that you would put your big, huge hands in to touch the most precious thing you've ever seen is really challenging, and actually needs a huge amount of support and guidance to be able to get the confidence to think that that would be okay. But as we're learning through these studies that Pampers and Bliss have done, the touch is so important and can actually then help your baby to thrive, which seems such a challenging thing to even consider, that you touching your baby that should still be in your womb would actually help it. But it helps the baby, and it helps you as the parent as well.
Yeah, it definitely helps as a parent to be able to create that bond and to start holding your baby, to feel that you're actually contributing something in those early days and weeks. And you feel so helpless as well, because it's a terrifying experience. And you know, even just trying to put your hands into the incubator to change a nappy with all the wires and the cables, it's you know, it's a challenge, but it's so important. And that contact, that touch, has been shown scientifically to help the baby and to help you as a parent to bond with your child too. So yeah, it's, I guess, simple things like changing a nappy. You know, we had a regular size nappy for Callum back when he was born, and it was, you know, having to fold it over 2 or 3 times. Now there's specifically designed nappies that are softer for their skin as well. So yeah, things are improving, and it's also great just to let other families know that are going through it. You're not alone, and it is scary, but that's okay that it's scary, and it's a normal experience to go through.
Are there things which you wish you knew then, which you know now, about the right way to kind of deal with that hugely difficult moment, but that challenge of bonding? Are there things you wish people had told you then?
I think that's such a good question, and something that drives my passion to work with Bliss, the UK's neonatal charity, and to be here today. Time gives you the confidence and understanding of what you're doing, but at the time you're trying to take on so much information. You're so terrified that the bonding is so hard. Not the physical separation, because they're in an incubator and often you're at home and can't get in there. But actually learning the confidence to deal with a baby and the breathing equipment and the wires that are keeping him alive is really challenging. I think I wish I had known that I wish I'd known the experience that I've got now, which seems so silly to say. But all I would say to parents who are going through it now is trust what the medics are saying, trust the support and guidance that's being offered to you, which says touch your baby, be with your baby. They know you, that you're not failing as a parent, you are doing perfectly. Keep touching them, keep being with them, and your baby will recognise you and will know that you're their parents.
Well, it's really important that you are able to pass that experience on to anyone who might be in the same situation. And of course, as you all know, our very own Laura Tobin, your baby was born very early, much
12 weeks early.
You didn't even realise at the point where you were going into labour that it was even possible that you might be having the baby at that moment.
None. I remember coming into work, and thank goodness my advice would be everyone should have a Dr. Hillary on hand. I came into work, I just thought I had tummy cramps, and Debbie and Wardrobe phoned Dr. Hillary and described what was going on, and you knew that the baby was coming. My waters had broken a few weeks before. I hadn't realised because it was just a small leak rather than a big one.
That's such an important thing, that, because
yeah.
I never knew that you could have your waters break and not know.
It was such a minimal thing compared to a full-term baby. So, you know, I just got told it was bad bladder control, which can happen in pregnancy, but it wasn't. And, you know, Dr. Hillary taught me through that. And actually, if people had that, they could go to doctors early and they can have a stitch and they can get that to go to a much longer term.
At what point, Laura, do you stop worrying once your baby is born very premature? At what point do you think, OK, she's all right now?
Yeah. I think we thought it would be 2 years. So at 2 years, you have this big review and you go through everything. And they have a corrected age. So Charlotte was 3 months early. So we always took that 3 months off. So she came home 3 months after she was born, but she was technically 0. And I remember going to this meeting at 2 years, and developmentally they were happy with her, and, you know, health-wise they were happy with her, and we just left the meeting and didn't feel any different. We started to wrap her into cotton wool. We couldn't take her to supermarkets for 2 years. She didn't go on a plane. I never went on a play date. We didn't go to soft play. We didn't go to any antenatal classes because she was just so sick and vulnerable. And we essentially kind of lived lockdown. The lockdown life that everyone's living now, we live for 2 years. And but she's amazing now, and she started school early, so yeah, we're really, really pleased.
Fantastic.
With her.
And Dr. Hillary, one of the reasons that you're able, I mean, obviously, experienced doctor, you also have experience yourself in your family.
Sure. My twins were born equally early, 12 weeks early. One weighed £2.4, one weighed £2.7. And actually, you don't stop worrying about them until they get their A-level, to be honest.
How old are they now?
So you keep worrying, because they're so vulnerable to infection, to hypothermia, to respiratory problems.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you can do a lot. As we've just heard from the Hoys there, you can sit there and you can actually give them milk through a syringe. You actually have a syringe with milk in it. With 2 mils of syringe will fill the tummy of a premature baby, and you can hold them and you can touch them and you can be there, photograph them. My kids were there 60 days in special care. Gosh. It's a long time, and the nurses were absolutely fabulous at Northants Hospital. They actually came in off duty because they were full at the time, and they made an extra incubator available, and they simply wouldn't be alive without our NHS nurses.
Next month they celebrate
their 30th birthday. It's incredible. Where does that time go?
And Sarah and Chris, Callum now, how is he doing?
He's doing incredibly well. He's 7. He's probably one of the tallest in his class. He can ride a bike. He can do everything that you'd hope a 7-year-old could do. So yeah, we're
just so lucky that he, so far, you know, he bears no history of it. It's us who bear the memories and the scars of it, not him, and we're so thankful for that.
Is he cycling?
Yes.
Very fast.
Is he going to be Olympian?
Yeah, he can ride a bike. As long as he enjoys riding his bike, I don't mind whatever he does.
Let's not put any pressure on him. He's just 7. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, Laura and Dr. Hillary. I know it's still an emotional subject, isn't it? I can imagine. Thank you so much. It means so much to those watching. 7:53. If you need help with any of the issues we've been discussing, you can find support at itv.com/helplines.
I think that conversation will have such a positive impact for so many people. It's such a worrying thing to deal with, but amazing. Still to come.